The nails won me over. If anyone understands again what you did, you helped me, and I didn't just bite my nails. I had no nails, nothing. That's how bad my anxiety was, and they're just so pretty now.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. Yo, man. Boom, Miss Rusty. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Public Access Podcast, the Podcast, here on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. I'm your host, Rusty Diamond. And you can find me at rustydiamond.net, rustydiamond.net, hypnosisisgreat.com, and popuphealing.net. Or watch this on Rumble, watch this on YouTube, listen to this anywhere you listen to podcasts. And today it's time for me to bring on my special guest because this is episode 608, I believe, which I'm catching up to Kill Tony. I'm going to pass Kill Tony within the next year. And that's my goal, to get ahead of Kill Tony and have more episodes than him. So, yeah, number 608, we have Melissa. Those are the best when you can have a conversation and you don't have to think. You can just have a conversation, don't have to worry about what's going on next and what needs to be said, what needs to keep everything going along. You can just have a conversation just fucking because. And
And I think people get so, I think like people forget what it's like to have an authentic conversation because everyone's so scared what other people are going to think. So it's exhausting sometimes having a conversation with someone you don't trust because you're like, ooh, is that going to rock the boat?
right. Yeah, you got to think about what you're saying sometimes before you talk to some people, which is weird. And especially when, how much of what we do is talking to people. There's the nonverbal communication, but that's kind of, that's only with certain people. But having conversations with people, yeah, you gotta have some talk, and it could get to a spot where, something could be said,
Yeah,
but what you gonna do? It's where the conversation needed to get to, and it was something that obviously needed to get brought up for some reason or another. What's the conversation? What's happening with that? Like,
honestly, like I feel like sometimes I don't know if it's just like my personality, but I think I've been always somebody that has taken really harsh blows because I'm not a reactive person when it comes to like responding in like a crazy way. So if someone gives me feedback, I'm more like, okay. And I don't really have like a big backbone or like just I guess I don't have a defense. I'm not a very defensive person. So if you give me
yet.
feedback, I just kind of like, oh, okay. Then some of them are really, really mean. And then I sit in it, I'm like, whoa, that's like a harsh thing to say to somebody. But I also think I try to bring the bubble in where I'm also so bad ADD. So I sometimes like just forget or like move on so quickly, which is like, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I just like don't hold on to things too long.
It's a good thing eventually. It takes time, which is
Yeah.
not the ADD way, but um, yeah, you'll find you've already found your use for it. You figured out how to maximize at what you're doing, and best fit to do what you want to do. So I mean, you're already doing it, so
Mhm.
just got
Happy
to
days.
keep doing it.
Exactly. Exactly. And how
Yeah.
are you? How's everything been going with you? I feel like we never
I'm
check in with you.
I don't know who does. Um, I don't know. It's going all right. Gotta, yeah, had to move this recording. Uh, so thank you for that. But
Of course.
yeah, I got, 4 days of work coming up here. So
Oh, what are you doing?
doing some, like extra stuff for a TV show.
Oh, I didn't know you did extra stuff. So like what does that entail?
Yeah.
Like do you just have
Like,
um Like just what kind of TV shows do you have?
Like the people in the background. I
Yeah, I know,
do.
but do like any shows we know?
Oh, mm, I don't know. I don't know. It's been a long time. There's well, let's see. I think the last thing that I was in was an episode of High School Musical, the show.
The show or the movie?
There's a show. It was crazy. It was so crazy.
I feel like that'd be like too overstimulating for me. I'd be like, I have to go. I can't be
Yeah,
here.
it was fucking wild. There was like so I word got out that the show was filming because so I don't know how well you know the High School Musical world but
Uh, honestly, I like wasn't at I was like right past the age where it got like super big, like about 6 years after. So I
okay.
tried to watch the first like movie and I like had to leave. It was too cringe for me. I'm like, stop
Uh,
singing, stop
yeah.
singing.
So yeah, this thing that's like so it's in Salt Lake City and there's a high school there and so like I went over and I was looking outside and there's a big group of people outside just like looking it in and everything going on because like it was a reunion episode. So I guess it brought back a lot of it was supposed to be like their high school reunion. And like somehow I fit in as someone their age, which made me feel cool. And
Wow, really? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. And so there's High School Musical, they're doing a concert. I'm dancing at a High School Musical concert.
Okay, you
Like,
have to send us this clip. I think
yeah,
everyone that's
I've never
listening,
seen it. I've never seen it. I can't get myself to watch it. And I figure that nobody that I know is like, what if someone's gonna come up to me and go like, what do you watch High School Musical? Like, I swear I saw you like, dude, what are you doing watching High School Musical? Like, I don't the show after however many years,
hey,
but
whatever pays the bills, I am
yeah,
down for, like trust me,
yeah,
I would do some stuff like, but I think that's like it's funny. It's just one of those things where you got to do what you got to do. But now I'm on the hunt to see you dancing in High School Musical because
yeah,
I feel like that would just be so good.
yeah. I don't know how I was dancing, and plus, like I was like I don't know. I don't want to know. I'm kind of scared now. I'm scared I put that out into the world. But
How long is
yeah.
the extras? Like, do you like? Well, I know one of my girls was wearing was as an extra. She would go on site for like 10 hours and do like
Oh yeah.
nothing, like absolutely nothing. You're just like sitting there waiting. You do it for like
Yeah.
2 seconds and then that's it.
Yeah. That's what happens a lot of times. Um, especially with the bigger budget shows. They tend to do there's a like a lot more setup. Like uh there was a show called Grimm in Portland, which was like I don't know, like it was Grimm's Fairy Tales meets
Hmm.
a police show, which was really weird.
Okay.
But like that one had a huge budget and it took forever and you do nothing. They used to be setting up shot all the time.
Hmm.
Uh, but then they have, I think like the one tomorrow will be, they'll be going through scenes a lot faster, not have this like
Yeah.
much of a, you know, I don't know. I feel like I'll probably be doing more with this one, but I don't mind sitting there. It's nice. You got to talk to people who are just there. They're just people
Yeah. And if you're
doing
getting
that.
paid for it, why not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, I think yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like it's not bad. I always wanted to get into the movies, but I think my ADD, like waiting for that long, I'd be like, "Ugh, I can't do this." But then again, you're right. You just kind of sit around and shoot the breeze, right? Get to talk to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's there is someone. It's kind of like jury duty. It's like everyone that's there that day is someone who can be there and like why are you here today? And so there was this one guy I met. This was back in Portland, so I guess it kind of makes sense. But he used to like he made a calendar for dog shit. He would like dress up dog pieces of dog shit, like put hats on it, and like it was the weirdest thing. And he's like, "Yeah, I make these fucking dog shit calendars." I'm like, "Okay, cool, dude. Like,
That
I'm
why does that
happy
remind
for
me
him."
of like Freddy, the Freddy finger thing, Freddy got fingered or
Freddy
something
got
with the
finger. Oh,
sausages.
oh yeah, that movie. That's a Vancouver movie.
It is
That,
actually. I forgot
yeah,
about that. That movie was so weird. It was like, what is happening?
a lot,
Um,
a lot's happening in that movie.
I,
It's it's a
I think
crazy.
it's like a, I think it flopped, didn't it? Didn't it
Yeah, it
flop?
was one of the worst rated movies, I think, somewhere in there. But it's cool. Did you ever see any movies being filmed up there? Up
Yeah,
in
like a little bit. The Rock was really in there a lot one summer,
The
so that was
Rock,
good.
like The
Like
Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock.
Yeah.
What was you just see The Rock just
Yeah, I don't know what
doing
movie it
something or other?
was, but he was filming something. Like he was filming he was like one summer like right for COVID. There's a lot of yeah, there was a lot of movies being filmed.
And yeah, and then it kind of changed. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's a fun thing to do. I think you like it, and then I think it's kind of cool to get to watch what's going on. Like,
Any big names coming? Any big names coming to be there?
um, I mean, yeah, like the guy show it is should be it's kind of a big name, so it's kind of cool. So yeah, but um, I don't know. It's you sit around, you can like watch. The cool one though, I think, is being the stand-in. That's a
Yeah.
fun one because yeah, I gotta be the not as good looking person as the person. Like, there's this weird moment where, me and the other people like see the other person who's like the person that's in the show, and like we're going to stand there in their places. And
Yeah. No, I
yeah,
totally agree. I think it's like the movies are such a weird thing too. It's like the stand-ins and like the extras, like you kind of like overlook them, but how much work it takes to coordinate everything on the side. And I think
yeah,
it's like pretty good money though, isn't it? Isn't it good money?
it ain't too bad. It's yeah, I mean, it works out. Everything's union out here, so that might be a little bit better than some other spots.
Yeah. Well, it's just gonna
But
take you forever to get in the union too, right? Doesn't it like take forever? So I know like one
yeah,
person that works in the movie, it took like 6 years to get in. 6 years, something like that.
yeah, yeah, it can take a long time. It could never happen as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, you could, I don't know, if you ever get a chance, just put your name on the list and see if
My name in the
they
book.
call you up. Yeah,
Happy
and
days.
yeah,
No, I think that's great. And what if you could have like your dream job? What would you think? What would you be doing if you could have your dream job right now?
everything I do now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, everything I'm doing right now is all I want to do. Like, um, I would like more time to be bodyboarding and going to the Six Flags water park. But
Well,
it
I also think you're an amazing hypnotist because you saved me from biting my nails.
shit. Thank
Listeners,
you.
I bit with biting my nails for 34 years.
Can
Look
you
at
see
them.
that? Can you see that? It's,
Can they see us here?
I guess, yeah, they
Yeah.
can see it as long as
Well,
they,
I'm putting my hand to something, so someone had to
yeah,
see. That
yeah,
is like, so how did you get into that? Like, is that something you should do? You do like, well, how did you get into something like that? Because I never really thought about
me neither.
hypnotist, for a long time. But after you did my nails and then you did something else, I was like life changing for me. And now I'm just like so into it.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's, I don't know, because like because that's pretty cool. Like the fact, yeah, 34 years and like change that, right? Like that. They probably won't pick up. Zoom has a weird thing with any
I'll take a
sort of
photo and send it to listeners.
okay,
But
yeah,
that's the
maybe the
power of like believing. And I think the longest thing, what I didn't believe is that you could believe mentally overcoming something. And the more I become more involved in this world that you're in, the more I realize that your mind has such a power over what you can control. And, having that your inner self really does like I know this sounds like voodoo to people that haven't really gone and
right.
trust me, I get it. Like I was born and raised in like very like no ghosts, no spirits, no higher power. Like that's it. This is it. But I've always felt something different. And I just shared a story with Rusty before. Like I got insulted pretty much by a business partner saying that she hated something I did. And I didn't even react the way more people react because I'm so like, okay, well, that's your opinion and thank you for sharing. And it almost surprised me because of the work I've done with you.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, thank you. Um, yeah, I mean I don't know, it's hard to talk like this. I don't
Talk
know.
yourself up. Come
Yeah, talk
on.
myself up. I fucking love it. It's so cool like what can be done in an hour and a half and just because I mean, yeah, like I got into it, I thought it was all fake. I told this before if you heard it, uh I guess I'm gonna tell it anyway. So
Yeah, please.
yeah, so I was wrestling and I for like part of the week. So like I would Thursday I would can hold on 1 second here.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll make sure I get that part. So yeah, so I was like a normal week for me would be I would work Monday from 7 a.m. until Thursday at like 5.
What
And
did you do
then
before?
I was delivering, like driving a truck and then delivering flooring in people's houses. So I take these long bundles of boards and set them down like in someone's garage or something, and then go somewhere else and do another one. And
Oh,
so
seriously?
like
That's what you did? I did
that's what I
not
did.
picture that.
Yeah, it was it it was so I could do the other stuff. And so like I leave Thursday night after work and I drive from Portland up to Vancouver, and then get there, stay for a few hours, like maybe 3, 4 hours up in Surrey, and
Like
wake
Vine,
up.
Vancouver?
Yeah, you're Vancouver.
Okay. Because I always
And
giving me Vancouver, Washington.
okay, yeah, so going up to Vancouver, BC. So like we get there like at 3 in the morning, and then like 7 in the morning or so, we'd leave and go 7 or 8, drive over to Kelowna, do a show in Kelowna that day, and then when that show was over, drive back to Vancouver that night, and then wake up the next day and do a show in Vancouver that next night, and then drive down to Portland, pick someone up, drive down to Chico, California, do a show down there on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. And then as soon as our matches were done, we'd hop in the car and drive back and be back at work at I'd probably get back to Portland like at 5 in the morning and be at work at 7 and just kind of do that over and over. And then one day I was delivering hardwood flooring, walking across a driveway that was being worked on, and there was a piece of plywood covering a big hole, and the piece of plywood slipped, and went in there, and there went my knee, and um, so that was it. Went from all that to sitting on the couch every day with my leg up and yeah, got really depressed and went to my therapist, which I was really against therapists. I thought therapists were again something that sucked and was stupid. And so when I'm waiting in there, in the waiting room for that first one, I get a text from my sister that this so there was this woman and this guy that I graduated high school with. I'm still was friends with the woman, and so her and her mom and her best friend all worked in a place together. And this woman that was my friend, like she was dating this guy, and he came over up to the place where her mom and her best friend worked, and they saw him with a gun, and she came out there to like see what was going on, and he shot her and then shot himself.
Oh
And so I get
my
this text message. Yeah,
God.
yeah, like right before I'm going in there, and I don't say anything to her about that day. I think I did maybe the next time, but um
That's
she gave me this
awful.
book. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't have much to do with the story, but maybe a little bit. But she gave me a book because I was telling her about how I was taking on all these other people's energy, like all their shit energy,
Yeah.
and I didn't know how to get around it. So she gave me this book, and I was telling her like I need to find a job, but like everything I'm doing is physical. Like I can't
Yeah.
wrestle, I can't, uh, I can't lift shit anymore. And so gave me a book, and one of the two, there were two jobs. One was a Reiki, and the other one was a hypnotist. And I thought, well, those are both fucking stupid, but like, this book is saying something, so I'll check it out. I'm gonna see what this is about, what's going on, like why this. So I uh Googled hypnotist training in Portland, called up the first place, talked to the guy for 20 minutes on the phone, and just telling him like I don't think this stuff, I don't believe it. Like I
Yeah.
I I'm
Voodoo.
curious about training. Yeah. And so he convinced me to come in there and talk to him a few days later. And I went and talked with him for like an hour and a half. He convinced me to sign up for the training that day. I took my credit card, um, went into a little debt, and did the course. And like the first time I got hypnotized, I was like, holy shit. Okay, hypnosis is great. This is
It's
fucking
crazy.
cool. Yeah. I was
And
totally
did you,
sober.
yeah,
And yeah, and it felt like I was high as shit driving home. Just felt like this, like the whatever, I don't know, like the carefree, just whatever driving home. Like normally when I'm driving, I can get, a
anxious, yeah.
little anxious, but yeah, I just fucking
Rage.
felt
Are you
good.
one of those
Yeah.
people that's like, fuck
I've
you?
I've been that way. I've been that way. I was definitely that way when I was in Utah. Um, but I try to not as much anymore. I'm trying to do more hypnosis and stuff. So
No, it's
stuff like
crazy how
that.
yeah, it's crazy how it's changed. Like, I totally love that story. And I'm so sorry about your knee. How is it now? Is it like one of those things where it's constantly like bugging you, or is it kind of like on its way to get
Yeah.
better?
Well, like my knee and my back got bad. Like both of them, my back got bad because I wasn't using my knee, or else then I would overcompensate. And then so my lower back was fucked for a long time, along with my knee, and like I could barely walk some days. I couldn't get out of bed, and like I'd be doing hypnosis, uh, whatever they're called, like sessions with clients from my bed with a green screen over over the back of my bed because I was in so much pain. And then and then uh I started smoking weed. And that was the
Happy
first
day.
time, yeah, first time that like my back didn't hurt. My knee was hurting only a little bit. And I'm like, okay, I'm on to something. And then uh now it's Tuesday, but so it's been just over 3 weeks, but every day done. This thing is called DDP yoga. There was a wrestler and he did like a
Yeah.
yoga thing and been doing that every day. And now like I can touch the ground bending over, which I've never been able to do in all 42 years of my life.
This
Uh
only happened recently, like not recently, but not like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It's just like 2 years ago.
well, no, this happened in 2017. This was 7 years
Oh,
ago. So it's been something, and now like this has been making me feel better, which is nice. Like I'm converted in the yoga game. It's definitely been helping. I'm turning woo woo, but I'm trying to like I want to be someone that can take uh come on, this is bullshit to like, some woo woo is like pretty cool, but now I'm like seeing like a lot of woo woo is really good. And the more woo woo you kind of put together, the cooler things can be. And like that's been
yeah.
a fun one.
Yeah, hands down, I totally agree with that. Like the more woo-woo you can get, the more yeah, it's been um it's one of those things where if you don't know and you're not open to it, you can't see the benefits of it, right? And that's the problem. Like
Right.
it's your mind's such a powerful thing. It really is. It's um but that's a crazy story. I didn't really, and it's a crazy story in many ways because it's, when I meet you, I would never think you had that story, which is like this is why I love you having these conversations because I never judged you in any way, but I thought instantly you were like this kind of this hippie, I guess, not in a
Yeah.
negative way, but that's just kind of, but now you're like,
Right.
you were where I was when I started a year ago. Like this is exactly what these conversations are meant to have. And this is what opens up more people accepting everyone because it's like, whoa, 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 we're actually all have a story. We all have a background, but some people are so headstrong and so like, blah, 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 they need to calm down, calm down.
Yeah. So that's another thing. Um, how do you tell someone to calm down? How do you tell someone to stop and take a breath when someone is having a time where they can't, calm down? I even get that way sometimes, but then, if someone tells me, hey, calm down or hey, take a breath, I'm like, fuck you. But
You.
it should be like, well, thank you. That's a really good idea. Like I I would like to take a breath. That would calm me down, I bet. And you know, like why not? Why not? But it's taken as such an offensive term when it's meant for the
Yeah.
best.
And I think I don't know one person that's like, good idea when they're feeling heated. They're like, when someone tells me to calm down, you instantly get like, you calm down. It's like you
Right.
don't need to. But I worry sometimes though that I've been now, I don't show a lot. It takes me a lot to get to that level, which has scared me about, which is why I kind of was really happy when you helped me too take back my drinking a little bit because I was worried I would get like almost a tea kettle and I would be calm and calm and calm and calm. And then I have like one glass of wine and like it would just like blow out of the socket. And I would be like, I would have regrets because I don't have regrets how I feel. I regretted how I spoke about it. That was what I needed to learn how to do to be able to speak my truth in the moment without feeling like they're going to be mad at me. That is what I was really trying to work on, which I think a lot of people struggle with. They don't speak the truth because they're ready to rock the boat and then they freak out. But then there's other people that have too much entitlement, that believe that they have the power, right? So we're all just trying to navigate, but I decided a long time ago I only surround myself with people that I really like.
Yeah, and that's I mean, sometimes that number isn't huge and it's okay.
Yeah.
Um, it's totally okay. And I've kind of had to go that way too. And, there's some people and you meet new people and, everyone's at their own level. Every level is fine. Everyone should be trying to better themselves, but you don't have to be. If you don't want to be, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
I would want people to try to be bettering themselves, but you don't have to.
Did you find that when you started to kind of go into that way of the woo woo, you kind of lost and got a little bit judged by others?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, totally. Even by myself. Like I didn't want to go into woo woo at all. Like I didn't that I was like, this is so stupid. And then I'd see the people that were in my class and I'm like, well, they're all like already doing all kinds of other woo woo stuff. Like, what the fuck are they doing? And then, but I didn't think, like, oh shit, I should find out more about what they're doing. I was just so quick to judge them right off
Yeah.
the bat. And, then but like I'm friends with all of them now, that I was in the class with. I still talk with them. I still talk with the guy who trained me. But it was cool. Like everyone got to just hypnotize each other all the time. And it was
That should be the happiest class in the world.
right. It was. And it was a great time. And that's all we did. Uh, I think there was a test we had to do at the end, but it was basically not really a test. But we all knew how to do stuff. And like, I feel it was like, yeah, there wasn't a lot of background. Like, I don't know a lot of background on who all the hypnotists were and how, hypnosis was whatever. But I do know how to hypnotize people very, very well. And I have that. So like I'm fine with that. I can learn about the other parts when I feel like learning about it because I mean I've gone down a lot of rabbit holes and a lot of like I don't know, and it's like it's been cool. And then now that I'm teamed up with people that do like shaman work or like people that are reikis and yogis and um shit like that, and just kind of all trying to take what we're doing and put it together. And we have some more ideas for what we want to do with it. But I mean, yeah, like we just did a retreat and then that was fucking cool. There wasn't a lot of people that came. There was two. Eventually maybe up to like five, but then there was four of us. And so we all got to just
There's a lot of attention for them too. That's
a lot of
great.
yeah. And
They
so
probably walk away feeling fresh.
yeah, yeah. And so I don't know, like there's there's always something. And like I would have never would have thought I would have been going down this road, but the more I do this stuff, the more different things that get brought in. And I talk with a lot of people on here, which is cool to get that conversation going. A lot of people who do, you know, whatever their thing is, everything from I don't know. I think I've had uh, like yogis, I've had people that are Reiki's, hypnotists, Akashic records, medium, pet medium, um,
I always get curious with the
people.
pet medium because I don't know, like, what does that mean? I don't know if I would want, I don't know. I feel like it's like what does it even mean? I'm not even trying to be rude, but what does that
No,
mean?
it's cool. Like that's why I brought her on. I think I brought on two. I know at least one, but um, I don't know. Like they told me, or she told me, I guess. Well, there might have been two. I gotta think about this a little more. But one of them then told me that like when an animal runs away or leaves and or is lost and they want to know like where the animal is, if it's okay, like one of the things like the animal has the right to leave. It was done with working with this person and it needed to go on to the next journey and go work with that person because that's what like the animal has that autonomy to think for itself and be able to choose that it wants to go. And then animals that have died. But I don't know, I haven't done one where I've, talked to a dead animal or anything. Um,
No, I don't know if I
I don't know
want
if
to
I'd want to.
know if my animal ran away. I would just think that it went to, like, I'm obsessed with my animal. So
Me
I don't
too.
know if I would want to know. I don't think Mo would ever run away from me though. He's too spoiled.
I know that feeling. I, I know that feeling very well. And
No,
so,
I'm all for it, and I always tell everyone to go to you. Like, I have a friend that's going to come out of a situation. Obviously, I don't want to say it online, that we spoke, and I really want her to come to you because I think, life lately is just so intense, and you have to have a good head on your shoulders. And I find that me dealing with situations is just so much better. Or am I just more level-headed? I don't know, but I do definitely think.
You will sleep better than you have ever slept. You've never been this relaxed. Are you ready to change your life? I'm Rusty Diamond, certified hypnotist. You don't need to leave your house. You can stay in your bed. You can stay in your favorite chair. You just need a computer or your phone. You can get a hold of me. Stay at home. I'll make your life better. Hypnosisisgreat.com.
The nails won me over. If anyone understands again what you did, you helped me, and I didn't just bite my nails. I had no nails, nothing. That's how bad my anxiety was, and they're just so pretty now.
yeah, and they will be, and they are already. So, I mean, yeah, it's cool. And so like what were you I mean, if you're talking about the hypnosis, like what were you feeling? Like what was kind of going on and from your point of view for
Well, like the
for
first one, I was
yeah,
really just kind of feeling a lot. It was a little bit of more of like I think a mental break, like is this gonna work? Like I think I was already you kind of came into a situation that I was really never able to really shake anyway. So I was already kind of feeling pessimistic naturally, not even because of what you've done, but just because it's been so many times I've tried to stop biting my nails, right? Like every single thing you think I could. But then you kind of dived into more anxiety and more PTSD that I had, and just like you kind of touched base on stuff. There's a lot of emotion. I actually ran away from you for like 2 days after. I ran away from everyone. I was feeling so overwhelmed. And then it started to just like work. And I was like, fuck me, this is actually fucking working. And I started to like deal with situations a little bit better. And then on the other one we did self-love, I definitely see a difference. Like just the way I don't take things. So for instance, I had a conversation with my business partner. She said some words to me, and usually I would have been shut off, like, oh, but instead I had like a voice that I felt comfortable with, like, hey, well, like, thank you for your feedback. And I was just more like matter of fact. But I also still wish I would have been like, that was a really harsh thing to say, but I don't even want to put energy towards something that's not anything to do with me because I see people now in such a different light. Like that negative, anyone that insults somebody, I believe it's nothing to do with the person they're insulting. It's exactly to do with them. So I don't take that shit personally anymore because I have enough self love for myself that you taught me. So that was a really weird thing to see because when someone insults me now, I'm like, this is when I don't think anyone that insults somebody like, oh, that was so bad. Like I would never listen to it. Like all this negative stuff. That's on them, not on you. That is
right.
totally a thing on them, which I didn't see before. I would take it so personally. I'm like, oh my God, you hurt my feelings. But now I'm like, thank you for your feedback. Please, like in my head, like let's work through it. And then they have to sit with that, not me. They have to sit with it.
Right. And it only exists in your head because you choose
Sorry.
for it to exist in your head.
Yeah. Sorry about that. My
About
hey.
uh, oh, about what?
Oh, sorry, my computer started ringing. Sorry.
Oh no, I didn't. It didn't
Did you
come
hear it?
through.
Okay.
Uh-uh. Yeah, there's a weird thing with Zoom, like any kind of music or other audio, it just doesn't pick up, or like it's really odd. Like if anyone tries to play music, like you can't hear music on here.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, good to know. Yeah,
yeah,
no, so that's how I feel now, which is different. Like obviously there's some things I still want to work with you because I kind of still sit like, but it just shows though my self love because I now just feel like you have to sit with how you talk to me. I don't have to sit how you talk to me because I'm not going to hold on to how you talk to me. You have to sit with it.
Right.
And it's a
Ab-
totally different negative that I have now. Like I've let it go, but you now have to sit with being rude to somebody.
right. And there you go. I mean, you just left that. Like that's a huge weight off your shoulders. That's something that could have been going on for days or, just thinking about that, but now it doesn't have to. It's just it was a
Yeah.
thought that someone else had and it's
Thanks for
processed and it's
sharing.
gone.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I
I'm
think
gonna
with
keep
negative people that have a lot of negative things to say, it's not on you. It's a lot of insecurity on themselves.
yeah, 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 kind of had a similar situation and yeah, I just eventually was like,
Someone was
"Y-
being mean to you.
yeah, no, a guy I was working with, but yeah, and yeah, but it was all, on him and like I'm like, okay, well, if I start, going into it and feeding into whatever, then it's on me. And then, that's giving them more ammunition for shit. Like that makes them happier. Like when when I would react to it, um, he'd be like, oh yeah, I can do this. But if you just, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Just no sell it. And yeah, it's like, all right, that's it's on you. You can think what you want. You can do what you want. Like, thanks, but okay.
Life is so short at this point, you know? It's not really anything we could do. And the people that really want to be around are going to be around, and people that are negative, they'll be negative. But at the end of the day, the sun sets and the moon rises and it starts all over again. There's my voodoo stuff for ya.
Yeah, yeah. Are
My
you
woo
ever
woo.
woo woo a little voodoo? I know you have that doll of me with those pins.
I swear on my life, someone had a dog. There was like a 1 year. I'm like, did I like kill a bug, or is there something going on? Because I was like, someone's after me. But you know what? At the end of the day, I think it's just like I love having these conversations because it's all about being yourself and trying to like everything changes too. Like talk to me 5 years ago, I'd be like, nah, it doesn't work. Now I'm like, Rusty, let's go. Another hypnotist, let's go. Like I need it
Yeah,
all. But it works. It does work. And it's crazy how much it works.
yeah. And I mean, it doesn't take very long, and it's I mean, it's able to just process so much so fast and get to the root of what's going on, um, and just work through it. And like that's it. That's all there is. There's not some other part to it where it's something else to think about. It's good. And then every time you experience it after, it just gets easier and easier
Yeah.
and easier and easier. Like, okay, well, I guess I do that. But I mean, I don't do it enough for myself as I should.
Yeah.
That's something I know I lack. And it's sometimes hard for me to do it by myself.
Yeah.
So it's nice having other people around, but like I should just be doing it by myself too.
Well,
And
maybe I'll get my certificate and we can do parties, you and I. I do you, you do me, you do it. We just hypnotize all day and then have a
that
cocktail.
sound that sounds good. You should check out my episode I have on here with Bruce, the guy that trained me. Um he's cool as shit. He's I think he's 81 now.
Oh
And
my God.
yeah, he started doing hypnosis when he was 20. And
And that back then must have been like rich. Like,
yeah, yeah.
no offense to him, but like back then in the day, like people didn't believe in that stuff, right?
Yeah, totally. And so yeah, he was doing that and like um I mean, he told some stories about, yeah, things that he got to see and like help out with hypnosis back then, but like the whole class was just fun. I think it's virtual now. I don't like if virtual was cool with you, I would go that route. I'd be happy to teach you a thing or two, because I'm always I want to teach anyone that wants to know like self-hypnosis or how to hypnotize someone.
Mhm.
I always happy to teach someone because that's what Bruce taught me. He said that he would rather um he really would, you know, wants to teach everybody self-hypnosis and how to hypnotize themselves, and like so I try to do that as well, try to go with what he was doing. But yeah, I mean, his class was a fucking it was a trip. I liked him as soon as I met him. I was like, this guy's cool, but maybe he's just a really good hypnotist too, and got me to sign up for a
That-
course.
I just picture like the clock watch
Yeah,
like this. Like,
yeah, and just
exactly.
yeah, and yeah, I mean, it was just something I looked forward to every day. It was every other weekend, Friday and Saturday from 9 to 5. And it, like I think I had to miss one or two um of those, and it was hard, like to do a wrestling show. Um, so I was still like sort of involved then, but I just every time I was in there, like I hated school. I fucking hated school. I
God,
hated
me too.
middle school. I hated high school. I hated college. Fucking barely got through any of those. But this, I was fucking into. I was just so
Straight
involved.
in.
I wanted to know, yeah, wanted to know more, like going deep diving on this because I was like, I've never felt good about like this, like something that I can do, especially at that point, like, yeah, being totally sober, um, and just being able to fucking feel like, okay, this is great. And then like getting to do like the past life regression was a really fun one. Like I really, really enjoyed that. And I use that one for writers too now, where like if a writer has writer's block,
Mhm.
I'll do a past life regression with them. And that was something I thought was complete bullshit. Like, what the fuck is that? But you know what? You end up seeing something. You end up
Yeah.
seeing like everything. And it's
Man, okay, well, we
weird.
have a session to do because I'm having like a creative block right now. Like I'm having serious block of like reaching out in business development, being able to like put myself out there. I'm having like this like weird imposter syndrome, but I'm like, this is like my job is to get clients. And I'm like, what is happening? But I think it's just better. But that is between you and I, not on your podcast until it's fixed, and then I'll come tell the results.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, no, we can totally get to that. Um and like that one was cool. Like they're getting to do stuff with people who have had uh, alien encounters or dreams that they don't remember, being able to go and like get them to that point to be able to remember what happened in those instances was cool as shit. Like, um, yeah, there's definitely a lot more, but like those ones usually been some of my favorites. Just being able to do those, just being able to get so much worked on and worked through, and get to learn stuff. Like that was one that just blew my mind. Like all of a sudden start seeing like, oh, okay, this is what I was like in this past life. Like,
In this past life. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, you gotta
I don't know.
go.
Doesn't really want to. I don't know. I swear to God, I died at Woodstock and I was a cat. Sure.
How'd you come about that? What is just something?
I just know. I know I overdosed at Woodstock. I know it. And I know
What
before I was a cat.
what's your story on that? Like, what do you know, or do you just is that about as much as you know from it, or do you
It's just
think?
I feel so weirdly attached to that era where I feel like I've never felt like I belonged in this era in my whole entire life since I was a baby. I've never felt I belonged. And there's like this really strong feeling that this is not a real, like this isn't real for me. Like I'm not like my soul is like I'm not supposed to be in this body. Like I overdosed. Something happened at Woodstock for sure, and I somehow have to come here for some reason to take care of people, and now I'm just trying to make the best of it.
Yeah, but that person at Woodstock does have a message for you, and then you can also be able to see through that person's eyes everything that person sees. And like it's the like you see everything and like uh there were some wild things that I can't really talk about. But I mean, like from my experience, like so my first one I got was I was in like I could see like the desert, and I like for some reason knew that it was New Mexico in like the late 1800s, and I was some sort of like shaman, medicine man. This was like I wouldn't have used that term shaman at all. It was like one of the maybe a I don't know, it might have been later on in the training, but that was a weird one. And then there was another one that I forgot. And then I was a lizard as well in
Oh,
prehistoric time. And that was a weird, I couldn't figure out what was going on. And then you also see how you die,
oh, I
um,
don't know if I
which
want to see that.
which is a weird one. But then with that though, you get to learn, and that's where you get the message is from seeing that. That's where the message comes in, and it's very healing and helpful to who you are now, and gives you a lot more understanding about why this person was, who they were, what they were, and then what you as 2024 Melissa doing to make
Well,
all that better and
I
work
hope
through.
so.
Yeah.
Well, this has been, I hate to run and leave, but I have to leave at 5. But I do want to come
Yeah.
back. This has been fun. I hope your
Yeah.
listeners like me too.
I hope so. They will. They'll like you. I'll tell them too. So, yeah, no, you'll be back.
Much.
We'll get you back. I don't know, sometime, or if you want to come on when someone else is on.
Yes.
Uh,
I want to come on when someone else is coming on. Are you doing one on Friday?
no, I'm working the next 4 days, but I got some coming up. I got some interesting ones coming up that you might be uh could be fun to have you on. I'll
Yeah,
let you
let's
know about that.
okay. And then I'll WhatsApp you about putting that date in. But Rusty, thank you for having me.
You're welcome, Melissa. Thanks for being here, and we'll get you back.
Sounds
All
good.
right,
Bye, everyone.
cool. Yeah. All right. That is Melissa Jaalaid. So I got that right, Melissa Jaalaid. Follow her. I'll put her LinkedIn on here so you can check that out. You can check me out, rustydiamond.net, hypnosisisgreat.com, popuphealing.net. If you want, you can go, if you are in Westchester, PA, or Princeton, New Jersey, you can go to East Coast Float Spa. You can get the Rusty Diamond Hypnosis Float special. You should go float first in the darkness and silence But then the next time you can get a hypnosis with me that is made specifically for float tanks. I don't know if there's any of those in the world, so you got to come to Philly. Come to Philly. Come get a cheesesteak at Angelo's. Bring cash. So, or if you want, I guess, yeah, you kind of got to go to Philly. So, yeah, thank you everyone for being here on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. And that is the show, man. Boom!
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.